All right, you asked for it. Here's today's episode of Stupid Crap You Shouldn't Do as a Therapist If You Want to Keep Your License. Now, today's is not as much of a roller coaster as last episode, but it is more of a classic because we have ourselves a romantic relationship. See, this therapist was working with their client for about 2 years when they decided to text their client, and I quote, "I am attracted to you in every way. I keep a tight control over my lust for obvious reasons, but I let my love for you run free because I can only express it as your therapist." Over the month that followed, they started to exchange texts expressing their sexual and romantic interest with each other. And a month later, the client purchased the therapist a wedding ring and they started to call each other wife. This went on for about 1.5 years, at which point the therapist moved into their client's home. And I think you can guess what happened next, because about 1.5 years later, things went awry. And the therapist moved out of the client's home, at which point the jilted lover filed a complaint with the board. And by the way, this is pretty commonly how these cases come up, because the power dynamic is such that it's not uncommon for the therapist to start developing feelings they perceive as romantic and vice versa with their client. Now, these feelings often come out of the power differential, which is why it's considered unethical to ever go this route. But I suspect we don't hear about a lot of these cases because if everything stays copacetic, nobody's going to file a complaint. But the moment that there's a problem, now the power differential is reversed, a complaint is filed, and the therapist usually loses their license like they did here. Anyway, that's all for now, but stay tuned for the next episode of Stupid Crap You Shouldn't Do as a Therapist If You Want to Keep Your License.